For the past 3 decades, it has been a jewel in North Kingstown, where boys and girls of all ages play soccer on 50 bucolic acres in the middle of town.
Everybody tuck their shirts in, please.
Oh, good position. Sienna, right there. Right there.
Okay. How we doing? Who's having fun? Who's having fun?
Shoot, Riley! Shoot, Riley!
The Ocean State Soccer School, located in the heart of North Kingstown, celebrates its 30th anniversary this year. The league began in 1983 with just 50 players.
Connor, excellent job. Good job, Jackson.
And this year will register nearly 1,400 for both recreational and competitive leagues, playing both spring and fall.
We're an all-volunteer organization, so with that, it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of good people to keep it going.
John Montanaro became president of the league's board of directors in the summer of 1999, after coaching his own 3 children beginning in the mid-90s. Like many here, he'd never coached before. Ocean State is one of only 2 soccer organizations in Rhode Island that owns its own land. A total of 50 acres that includes fields directly adjacent to Stony Lane and a new set of fields in the back, developed several years ago. It all might have turned out much differently. For 16 years, the league had been renting the property for $1 a year from Nick Nikoloff. But that changed within weeks of Montanaro's becoming president 14 years ago.
The owner stated he was selling the property and that we had roughly about a year to vacate the property.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you think when you got that letter?
My jaw dropped. I was in pretty much shock and disbelief, and then my immediate response was, well, we got to do something about that. What are we going to do?
So the board mobilized, putting together a strategic plan to buy the property, wondering how it would finance the asking price of $300,000. Montanaro says they eventually secured funding from the Champlin Foundation and the Nature Conservancy, as the acquisition involved both recreation and preservation. A $275,000 grant and a donation by Nikoloff back to Ocean State of $25,000 made it all happen.
50 acres for $275,000. Do you ever shake your head thinking about that?
Yeah, I'm saying, and I truly believe that the owner really wanted us to have it. And we feel very fortunate that we're able to do this. And a lot of the youngsters today in the community have no idea how this came about. Maybe they don't even know who really owns the property. But you look back on it now and say you could easily get double that.
So what makes Ocean State different from other soccer leagues? In addition to owning its own property, the league accommodates requests for players to be paired up with friends on a team. It's a monumental scheduling task, considering there are 66 teams across 11 divisions in the rec league alone. Ocean State runs a competitive league for older players and has a referee training program. Scholarships are available for those who need financial help. And there's a major emphasis on starting early, as young as age 3. With the youngest kids, the player-to-coach ratio is usually about 7-to-1.
I'm not aware of any other program that actually forms little teams. And we do it partially for socialization for these kids, and also not only to get them some activity physically, but at that young age, they're just starting to learn how to even, communicate a little bit. And so to get them together, to get them some confidence and some skill building socially is another part of that too.
Spend any amount of time here and you quickly learn that snack time for the little guys is often as important as game time. Kayla Pelletier, a captain on this year's girls soccer team at North Kingstown High School, started playing for Ocean State when she was 5. We caught up with her several hours before she led her team into a playoff game last week against Cumberland. Kayla's coach at the high school, Randy Jones, headed up Ocean State's competitive division for years, and his daughter Savannah came up through the league with Kayla.
With Ocean State, I just thought it was such a great community that I was part of, because I was allowed to develop that core group of people that I could grow up and transition from even childhood into adulthood now. I definitely could link it back to way back then, my coaches that I had at Ocean State, who taught me that leadership and allowed me to be the player that I am today.
It's okay, you have to try. You did
Jeff Wallace and Shayla Michaud coach a girls rec team, and each has a daughter on the squad. Wallace is also on the league's board and responsible for putting together all of the teams, scheduling games, doling out uniforms, and helping recruit coaches.
I always tell the coaches, if you've got one kid crying, it's a good, you're doing something right. It's when everybody's flopping on the floor and you can't get anything right, that's when things go wrong. But the next season, they know who you are, so they're more apt to listen to you. And the season after that, they start actually improving and listening to some skills. And what's most rewarding from a coaching standpoint is you get these kids that could barely touch the ball, and now they're the ones on the breakaways on your teams because you've watched them for 4 years and seen that develop, and you had a piece in that.
You did a fantastic job too. Nice ball. You haven't got
Michaud has coached 9 teams over the past 4 years.
And my goal was always that they have fun. Always that they have fun. And then I just hope they'd learn something, whether it was someone learned to kick the ball when they were younger, or maybe they learned to get a pass. And then as they get older, I hope that they learn more of the strategy of the game and how positions are actually played.
And some life lessons along the way.
We had a couple of weaker players, and the girls I had some very strong players, and they were taking over. And I said, no, you can't do that. You have to work as a team, because if you're not there, or if you have the ball and you can't, and they block you, just you've got to be able to rely on your other players. This is a team sport, it's not an individual sport.
Did the stronger players get that, or was that a tough lesson?
No, they did. I think what they understood was that, for me, sportsmanship and teamwork are the most important thing. If they're not playing nicely, I'll take them out. But if you're playing your heart out, even if you're losing, even if you're doing poorly and you're trying your best, I'm going to leave you in, and I'm going to give you choices. What do you want to play next time?
The league also looks beyond its own fields. On the last weekend of the season, they held a food drive and a soccer recycle program begun by 2 former players in 2010. Christiana Lehman and her sister Cassandra, now a freshman in college, grew up playing for Ocean State. They collect old uniforms and cleats and send them to Haiti and other places in need. Ocean State has also rallied around families facing illness. Montanaro knows it firsthand. His oldest son, John, was diagnosed with leukemia at the age of 13 and died 6 years later in 2011.
Grew up on these fields. He started at U5. I coached him. He was a referee. He played a little travel soccer. He actually, while going through cancer treatment, made the JV team, got in a game against Hendricken, just loved it.
Is it a mixed feeling? Because you see your son out here.
Yeah, I do. It is a mixed feeling. It hurts. It hurts, but I think of all the good times we had. I think of him, playing on this field, or a particular instance when he's reffing a game, or things we did like on cookout day, or coming on field day and painting and doing all those things together.
Despite the size, the league has the feel of one big family, holding an annual cookout day in October and the requisite picture day in September. Many weekends, the families hang out before and after the games to catch up with friends. And while 80% come from North Kingstown, players from a total of 18 communities registered this year, some coming from Lincoln and Providence.
What is it about soccer?
I think it brings together a type of person and a type of family who comes to play soccer. I played soccer on fields like this in Illinois, and I remember those Saturdays at the fields and running around, and there's a safety in being here. They can go anywhere they want as long as they don't leave these fences. We know they're here and they're safe.
We're here for the kids, and we're trying to teach the kids life lessons and to be future volunteers and future leaders in the community, and what it's all about. Those types of things. That we had a positive difference in the life of a child that's come through our program.
In North Kingstown, Jim Hummel for the Hummel Spotlight.